No, this isn't Amy. If that's what you always, everybody's wondering, oh, is this Amy? No, this isn't Amy. You have to wait, over an hour, about an hour and a half into the movie before you find out that who is Amy. You find out who this is within minutes. This is Alyssa, and that's Holden. That's Holden. That's Banky. And that's Silent Bob and Jay. And of course, you know those two. Anyway, hello there. Welcome back to Criterion Collection Reviews with Nate Jackson. And number 75, the 2 for 2 Tuesdays. You could call it that if you want. Or just call it another review. Number 75, Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith. My first Kevin Smith and our first Kevin Smith. I've heard so much about him. I've seen scenes from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but I've never seen the entire film. Nor have I seen anything else that Kevin Smith has done. I've seen him in reviews. He's a very funny guy. So, I was kind of a little apprehensive in seeing this because I wasn't sure, if I should have seen Mallrats or Clerks before this. I think they were before that. I don't think, Clerks and Mallrats were, I think, before Chasing Amy. This was his third. I'm not sure. Yeah, the third. Chasing Amy is the third installment in the New Jersey trilogy. So there you go. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I should have seen those two films to have known what was going to happen in this, and how much of emphasis do Jay and Silent Bob, who appear in appeared in a good portion of his movies, how much of an influence do they have in the film? And they're only in one scene, so I was like, okay, well, all right, then it's basically about a new story. And let's talk about the story. So, Chasing Amy, 1997, 113 minutes, English for once, finally at last. And when I went into this, I'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's talk about the plot. So, basically, it's about Holden is this comic book artist, and Banksy is his best friend and Tracer, and they have a new comic out called Blunt Man and Chronic. Hilarious, I know. And at a comic convention or some kind of comic convention, they meet a girl named Alyssa, who is an artist on a what is her name of her comic? Idiosyncrat routine or something. Idiosyncrasy routine. I forget the word. It's like idio something routine. And Holden falls in love with her almost instantly. Can't stand Banksy because he's a Banky, not Banksy. Banksy's a whole other guy. Banky because he's a homophobe. He calls everyone faggots and queers or like dykes. Which is like I was like, I'm surprised this did so well. More or less has done so well. But he doesn't find. But Holden has no idea that Alyssa is hiding something. And that is that she's a lesbian. And he doesn't find out until they go to a lesbian bar. And Alyssa gets up to the mic and sings a song for her girlfriend. And Holden thinks she's singing the song for him. And of course, when she calls, she does the come here finger, and she ends up kissing her. And he's like, oh no. And Jason Lee, who plays Banky, does a great performance in this scene where he's like just really shaking his head because he's like, oh god, he doesn't want Holden to fall. He doesn't want to lose his best friend to Alyssa. And so when he sees that Alyssa and her girlfriend are kissing, he starts clapping, smiling, and then he just kind of stops. And he does this great look around where he looks around at all the lesbians kissing. And he just kind of has this moment of realization, and it's hilarious and had me busting up. So yeah, Jason Lee, man, he's awesome. So yeah, but Holden's still wants to be friends, and Alyssa really likes him as a friend, and so they hang out a lot and they spend time together until finally one night when Holden finally can't take it anymore and finally confesses his love to her. And she's upset at first, but in the end, she ends up realizing that she actually likes him too, and they end up kissing and they have sex together. And Banky's horrified to find them on his couch, naked, although she did wear boxers. And that, oh man, that I love you scene. not to get too personal for a minute, but you have no idea how many times I've wanted to say things like that to lesbians I've fallen for. It's that was powerful. That was a powerful scene, and kudos to Kevin Smith for writing that. Because another one for the favorites, another one for the Criterion Collection 28 or Criterion Views 28 favorites. Anyway, and yeah, so there's so they end up starting a relationship together until Banky starts finding out a little background behind Alyssa. Apparently, Holden and Alyssa were both from New Jersey, and Banky finds out that she once had in the yearbook she was nicknamed Finger Cuffs, and it is because, and it's revealed because apparently Holden wasn't the first guy she fell for or had sex with. Apparently she had experimented when she was younger in high school. She, I guess, had sex with 2 guys, and when Holden ends up finding this out, and so he ends up trying to extract the truth from her at a hockey game, and she ends up revealing it, and she's really upset, and he's upset, and he ends up leaving her, and she does this, what's her name, Joey Lauren Adams. Joey Lauren Adams does this just amazing, like, yell, scream, cry speech about her history and just how she doesn't, she doesn't regret it or anything like that. She won't apologize for her past, but at the same time, Holden can't take this, and I guess they leave. He kind of leaves her. Same time, he ends up, still having a bit of a fallout with Banky because of everything that happened, and so at this cafe, he ends up meeting Jay and Silent Bob, who try to console him about his breakup, and of course Jay does most of the talking until finally Silent Bob speaks up and tells him the story about his girlfriend and how he ended up giving up his girlfriend because she had sex with other guys, and he totally regrets it now, and so he's forever chasing Amy, and that's where the title comes from. And that kind of bugged me. Thinking, not knowing that that it would come from Kevin Smith's mouth. I mean, it just felt a little maybe egotistical of him, and it felt a little message. 1 second. These things happen. Anyway, my brother should get in on these reviews. You'll see my brother calling. You'll see him later on in the years gone by when we do House and Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, because those are 2 films that we both seen Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. We've actually seen those films before I started this, so it's kind of cool that we actually started. I actually saw a bunch of Criterion Collection films before I started the Criterion Collection movie film series reviewing thing. So anyway, sorry about the interruption. Let's get back to the review. So Silent Bob, it kind of bugged me that Kevin Smith took it to himself to reveal the meaning of the title, Chasing Amy, through his Silent Bob character, It's a little annoying, but whatever. And, for me, thinking that's Amy, exactly. Her name's Alyssa, okay. Makes sense. But, so anyway, Holden has this realization moment, I guess, and so he ends up calling both over Alyssa and Banky to the apartment and he suggests to Banky that Banky is in love with Holden because he doesn't want, because if he doesn't want to lose him, and he ends up kissing him and just smooches him on the cheeks, on the lips, and that kind of takes Alyssa back for a second, and so anyway, yeah, so he's convinced that Banky is in love with him, even though Banky denies it. So he thinks that in order to save both relationships, the relationship he has with Alyssa as well as the relationship he has with Banky, he decides to suggest that they have a threesome together. And of course, this doesn't sit well with Alyssa. No, even though Alyssa knows it's coming, she even says, "Don't say it." Banky is at first, very skeptical about it, but in the end, he actually says, "Okay, fine, sure, we'll do it." And Alyssa says no, and he's like, "Oh, thank God," which is hilarious. Kind of, Jason Lee finally, or Banky, kind of owning up to the fact that he's like, "Oh God," he's still the same old Banky. But yeah, Alyssa just doesn't want it because she knows that it'll screw up Holden's way of thinking. And so she ends up leaving him, because she loves him too much. And, it's not right now. And I guess Banky ends up leaving the room too, which effectively, I guess, lets the viewer know that both those relationships have ended because of him, So a year later, captioned 1 year later, Banky's at another comic convention and signing to a friend, and a fan. He's talking about, I guess it looked like, through the signs, it looks like Banky now owns Blunt Man and Chronic, and he's talking to a fan, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees Holden standing in the doorway, and they have this like miming conversation where he kind of mimes that he's going to talk to Alyssa, and he gives him a thumbs up of encouragement. So he goes over to Alyssa after her new girlfriend is out walking around, and he talks to her, and she's kind of taken aback. And he shows her that he's got a new comic called Chasing Amy, which is totally based on her life or their relationship. And it's not revealed whether or not she's not really touched, but she's kind of just like, she says she'll read it, And so they kind of part with that, but just knowing that they're still in touch. The viewer knows that they're still in touch, and she ends the movie with just telling her girlfriend when she comes back that that was just some guy that she used to know. And that's how the film ends. So yeah, man. And then there's this hilarious like Black Power comic book artist who writes is like an African American space traveler who like puts on this front of like being this like militant Malcolm X kind of guy, but but when the audience is gone, he's actually this gay. He's just a gay guy who works in a lesbian bar. Was it the Meow Mix? It's called, I think. And yeah, he while he's talking to Holden in a CD store, a fan comes up to him and he talks to, and he believes him, so he has to put up this front. He has to switch to his militant disguise and like fight the power. And they have this exchange, which is hilarious. You look it up on YouTube, it's like Chasing Amy Clip 2 or something like that, or Hooper Clip 2 or something like that. So yeah, Kevin Smith, man. He's got a way with dialogue, he's got a way with timing, and he's got strong characters. Definitely got strong characters who are definitely thinkers. He's definitely a thinking man, and he's very funny. I went into this thinking that I would hate it or it would be annoying, but the story hit a little close to me, so I latched onto it. So for all in all, it's a great story. Yeah. There's only one thing that bugs me, and this is very trivial. This cover. This doesn't look like Alyssa. This doesn't. Looking at her, she looks like some kind of supermodel, and that's what also bugged me too. When I saw Joey Lauren Adams as Alyssa, I was like, first of all, I was taken aback because she isn't as attractive as she is on this cover, and of course the voice was like, the voice wasn't annoying at all. I thought it was cute, for her character, or definitely it fit her character too. So, I just, I was kind of like numbed. I was afraid that it wouldn't, that the presence of this really attractive woman would give me this sense of like, oh my God, this is one of those kind of films. But no, she's more down to earth. Alyssa is more down to earth than this, and I like that. So kudos to Kevin Smith for being awesome. And yeah, that's all I got to say about this one. It's an amazing story. I give it an A-. I give it an A- just because of the whole Chasing Amy title mainly thing. I can't rate it because of the DVD cover, but I can give it an A- because of the Chasing Amy reveal. I thought it was a little cheap, but anyway. Bonus features, basically just 10 deleted scenes, all introduced by Kevin Smith and what's his name? Jason Mewes, who plays Jay, and Ben Affleck, and their director, who else? What's their name? I forget this name. Scott, somebody or other. Oh, Scott Mosier, the producer, and they all introduce different scenes. And yeah, it's hilarious. And of course, there's some outtakes. They actually reveal one of the Criterion producers. There's this who looks exactly like I thought she would, like a Criterion person. Yeah, and then in the trailer sucks. The trailer is so. I mean, they had to censor it so badly. I mean, there's a scene where Holden and Alyssa are playing skee-ball, and he asks her, "So what'd you do last night?" And she says, "Oh, I got laid." And as he's throwing the ball, the shock throws him, and he throws the ball into a pinball machine, and they censor it to "got lucky," and they can't show. And then when they reveal that she's supposed to be a lesbian, they don't show the kiss. So but we're supposed to infer from this, and then the girl coming toward her, that they are kissing. And yeah, it's just a little annoying. I mean, maybe that was how it was in the 90s. Maybe being gay characters in films were still a little risque, or maybe it was because it was like appropriate for all ages, that kind of thing. And you can't show that in a trailer. I don't know. But at the same time, the trailer felt like one of those made-for-TV movie trailers, which kind of didn't help much either. So yeah, that's all I got to say. So, Chasing Amy, it's going on the buy me list because I would like to see this again. I'd like to show a lot of my friends this movie. Actually, not too many friends, because like I said, it's a little close to home. That's all I'll say. And if any of my friends are watching this, Chasing Amy, A-, get it. Right, number 76 tomorrow. Number 76, Brief Encounter. Mr. David Lean is back after Great Expectations and Oliver Twist. So I'm expecting excellence, because I liked Great Expectations and Oliver Twist. So expecting excellence, David Lean. Hope you like it. I mean, hope it's good. So anyway, we'll get to this one tomorrow, and then in God Created Women, I got the disc from the library today. I got just the disc, but there should be a copy that comes with the complete case, so I'll be able to showcase it off in due time. And yeah, so that'll be Thursday night. We'll get to In God Created Woman. It's woman. It's not women. It's woman. Roger Vadim. Yeah, and then so Bank Dick. So yeah, that's the only one that came in. The Bank Dick, W.C. Fields, 6 short films, The Element of Crime are all on their way. Hopefully they'll get here before the weekend. Otherwise, like I said, there was going to be a delay in distribution that's going to happen to like the 30th. So there's a chance we might not be able to get to any more after In God Created Woman. But I will hopefully be able to keep you updated by Thursday. By Thursday, I'll know. Hopefully something will come in. And yeah, and then Variety Lights, number 81, Variety Lights. I haven't been able to actually find a DVD copy of it, sadly. It might be they might not be able to check one out because all the libraries are kind of like putting a hold on all their DVDs for Link Pluses because of the whole change. So nobody can check anything out. I'm not sure. But if I can't, then thankfully the movie's on YouTube, and there are no supplements, so I'll just watch the movie. Like same thing I did with Blood for Dracula and Flesh for Frankenstein. I just won't be able to have the movie. I'll just watch it online on YouTube. So anyway, God, 20 minutes. That's what you get when you get a good film like Chasing Amy, which this is an Amy. Anyway, all right, so that's it from me. thanks for watching. If you fall in love with a lesbian, and we will see you tomorrow afternoon for David Lean's brief encounter. And until then, bye, pal. Goodbye.